Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. This is Nick Earls, Wadsworth Control Systems. I want to walk you through our brand new Seed V2 software. So there's new features in here, new custom things, but let's dive in and take a look. As you can see right here on my home screen, I'm showing a weather station. I'm showing 3 different zones. So I'm showing a greenhouse, I'm showing an indoor room, as well as a flower room. So we've used this controller in lots of different facilities, everything from zoos, butterfly exhibits, big vegetable producers, hemp facilities, um, indoor lettuce, lots of different things. I'm showing you this software from my computer. So you can also go up to a computer, whether it be a PC or a Mac, and adjust things, change things, look at data. Lots of options available with that. Or you can walk up to the touchscreen that we provide with the system and make changes there. So a few things you see on this home screen that are a little different than our V1 is you can customize what sensors you're showing in the zone. So weather station, I'm showing temp, humidity, light level, and wind speed. I could also be showing wind direction. The system will show you if it's snowing or raining outside. So lots of options with that weather station. You can also change what's in the zones. So greenhouse number 1 is showing temperature and humidity. But if I click on that, we can see the sensors at the very top here shows temp, humidity, CO2, and light level. So there's even more sensors for this zone that aren't being displayed on the home screen. So as I go back to the front, again, you can adjust this however you want. You might say, Nick, I see one of the houses is red right now. What's that mean? So red is heating, blue is cooling, and green means plants are happy, it's within set point. So it just gives you a clear idea as you walk by the controller what's going on. And every grower is different on what they're going to want to display. You might want to show temp, humidity, and VPD. Or we have some aquaponic growers out there that are showing their greenhouse with temperature, humidity. And then they have 4 fish tanks that we're also monitoring their water temperature, the water pH, and the dissolved oxygen. So this gives the grower a lot more control, it gives them more data, but it's all in one place. So let's dive into the equipment and see what we can control. So as I click on Greenhouse 1, it brings up an equipment list. This equipment list is specific to that zone. So right now we're showing exhaust fan 1, exhaust fan 2, and exhaust fan 3 down there at the bottom. You might have 20 exhaust fans. So we would do this coding custom for you. We'd have it pre-programmed. We put in generic set points. We have all your equipment listed. So basically, once your certified electrician gets everything hooked up using our custom electrical drawings we do for each project, then you would go into the system and be able to adjust set points. You can also set different periods. So let's take a look at that really quickly. I click on target temperature range, which it's saying 75 and 55 in the bubble. What that means is 75 is when I want to start cooling and 55 is when I want to start heating. So I can make those adjustments right here. Let's change it to 60 instead for heating. And I can base all of my equipment on this. As you see, I have day and night. I could have morning, day, evening, night. I could have as many of these periods as I want just to really fine tune how I'm growing or how I'm controlling that environment. So as we go back, it asks if I want to save changes. I say yes. It's also going to show right above target temperature, it shows me my current temperature, 75.2. Sure, shows it right up at the top also, which is the rest of my sensors. But that current temperature bubble will move up and down the list to tell me what's going to happen next. So we know it says roof vent is 100% open. The zone temperature is 75.1. Now it just changed to 75. It's cooling until that roof vent hits 72 degrees. So this screen tells you the status of the equipment and why that equipment is acting that way. Very beneficial. You can also say, you know what? Let's change this to humidity and look at this list based on humidity. Now we have a humidity bubble moving up and down the list. Go back to temperature, being a very key aspect when it comes to controlling environment. Another thing we added on this home screen is you'll see over on the right side, there's a little gear. If I click on that gear icon, it gives me more features. It says, hey, do you want to graph this zone data and look at just greenhouse number 1? Then you can graph the zone data. You can also do this bulk override. Sure, we provide manual override switches inside the panel, but we also have a way you can do a bulk override. Very important for if you're trying to do a pesticide application or a foliar nutrient. You might want to turn certain equipment off. So you come in here and say, hey, exhaust fans 1, 2, and 3, maybe my grow lights, let's turn them off for, we'll say 4 hours. I'd come in here and type in 4 and say override equipment. The best part is once you leave, this all goes back to automatic control. So if you flip one of these manual override toggle switches in the panel and leave for the day because it hits 5 o'clock, you're not going to have the benefit of it going back to automatic control. That equipment is officially turned off. Using this bulk override becomes a huge benefit. Let's look at some of these other options. If you wanted to adjust your periods and set points, some of the stuff we were just looking at, you can do it from here. You can also go to edit alarms. You could manage zone profiles. So zone profiles being maybe you're in a young stage of growth for your crop. So you want to save all the settings you have for this and label it young stage. So once you sell your crop or you harvest and you come back and you start to repopulate with those young plants again, you can click on zone profiles and upload how you control that plant at that stage of growth instead of going through and adjusting it. Let's look at equipment. Let's click on exhaust fan number 1. So lots of different options, different tabs at the top you'll see, settings, limits, overrides, configurations, and status. Let's start with settings. So exhaust fan being one of your main things when it comes to cooling, you would do your drop down arrow, look at temperature, and you'll say, Nick, why does it say -3 and +9? The reason we do pluses and minuses is that original target temperature or target goals of the heating and cooling for your periods will automatically adjust. So if you have all your staging properly put in here for your cooling and heating equipment, you can go through and just adjust your goal and it will automatically adjust everything else for you. Makes it super simple. So if we want to change something, let's change this on during the day at 84. Let's drop that down. Type in a new number. Now it's at 83. Very simple to change. You can also move these bubbles and adjust it that way. If you're looking at these numbers and you say, Nick, I'm more graphical. I like to look at visual graphs and try to adjust that way. Well, click on the graph icon. You can look at it that way. Everyone has a different way of interpreting stuff, so we wanted to include multiple options on view. If we go over to the limits tab, we can look at how would we dehumidify. If you are venting and heating, and that's how you dehumidify, very common in greenhouses, you can say, how far do I want to go past my heating goal before I stop trying to dehumidify using this exhaust fan? We would do that right up here at the top. We go to overrides. Maybe you have CO2, you're supplementing CO2 in your greenhouse or your indoor zone. You'd say, hey, if CO2 gets too high, I want to protect my coworkers and employees. So we go over here and we say at 1600 parts per million, go ahead and turn this exhaust fan on to try to take out the CO2. This might be a good time to also set up an alarm, an alert to go off. We go over to the status tab. This is going to have all of your possible sensors that could be connected to this exhaust fan and what they're currently reading. Also tells you the last time this exhaust fan turned on, just to make sure everything is working properly. So let's jump back to that main equipment list, save some changes, and look at another piece of equipment. So let's take a look at dimmable grow lights, a very popular piece of equipment in the industry at the moment. So with our seed controller, we can set up an intensity. So we could say we want between 800 and 900 micromoles, which is basically an intensity, so a light level. We say, hey, if it gets a little cloudy out, let's go ahead and turn those lights on just enough to achieve that 800 and 900 goal. Gets a little cloudier, then let's raise that intensity so that we still have that proper micromole value. This allows uniformity of your light level across your canopy. The other thing it allows is you to save on your energy consumption. Another aspect we added for energy consumption is accumulated DLI. DLI being daily light interval. So as you collect a certain amount of light over a day, we have it set to 35 moles. As we collect 35 moles, once we hit that number, don't turn the lights back on. The plants have absorbed as much as they need, and you might as well save on that utility bill. We also have the option of saying, hey, we're at 100% intensity. Maybe at this stage of growth, we only need it at 50. So you can move this bubble over to 50 or just type it over here on the right. We also have different settings for introduction, night interruption, allowed time. And you can also base your allowed time on sunrise and sunset to really maximize the amount the sun is putting out and how much you're supplementing. We have some pretty neat overrides on the override tab. So, gets too hot in the greenhouse, we have it set to 100. That might be a little high. If it hits 100, turn the lights off to 0%. Or, if they're modulating, maybe just turn it to 50%. Another feature is a cold on. So you can set this up to say, if it's during my allowed time, and if it gets really cold, turn my lights on. This could be used as a supplemental heat or backup heat if for some reason your boilers or unit heaters don't kick on. So let's jump back. Ask if I want to save changes. With the system, we can go to the advanced menu where we can create multiple users with different privileges. So you might have an administrator. Administrator can go through the system. They can do anything in the system. They can add new users. They can look at the change log where it shows who changed what and when and what they changed it from and to. We can also have writers. Writers can go into the zone just like we went to the exhaust fan and the lighting and adjust set points, but they can't look at the change log and they can't go to the advanced menu. Then the third option would be a reader. A reader can go into the system, they can look at the settings, but they can't change anything. So it's nice to have all these different options for different users, different privileges, and to see who changed what, when, and why. We have paired up with H.E. Anderson, one of the top companies in the industry when it comes to fertigation. They utilize diaphragm pumpers. They can use one skid to pump multiple recipes. All those recipes will be inputted here in the seed system. We can also do valve grouping. If you have manifold valves, room manifold valves, and then valves at the bench, taking multiple valves to be able to send the irrigation to a certain location, no problem. You can also set up different schedulers and events. You can trigger things based on time, VPD, accumulated light, which would be like DLI, or soil moisture content. If we go back to the equipment list, you can see there's lots of equipment. Everything from irrigation to shade curtains, light depth curtains. We have heating, variable speed fans, whether it be an air circulation fan or an exhaust fan. We do different types of vents. You can set custom alarms. And this entire setup that you see here, this exact interface, also has a full app. So that app's available for Android as well as iOS. And that app is the same interface. So when you click on the app, it takes you to this same screen. It also allows you to change and view anything from your phone. So some of the other systems out there might allow you to look at things, but you can do anything you can do from the controller, you can do from your phone on the app, or also on a PC or Mac using our Sphere software. We tried to make it available for anyone in any situation, no matter where they are. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us and watching our videos and following us here on YouTube. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. You can go to contact us on our website. If you're looking for more of a personal demo and really want to dive into the system, ask questions, and kind of get more hands-on, reach out to us. We'd be happy to set something up. If you're looking for an estimate, please send in an email through our website or give us a call. We'd love to hear about your project and how we can help.